May has passed and there was no not TBR, but wrap up video. That is my fault and I sincerely do apologize, but I did not read enough before I felt as though it deserved its own wrap up video. So I was like, let's just wait till June and then we'll do a wrap up video with both. So now that June is over, now we're in July. July is actually the anniversary month of the Road Girls. Follow me on Instagram. We're trying to hit 1,000 before July 31st. We're literally at 800 something right now. Please just help us out. We're really trying, guys. We're really trying. But today we are doing both the May and June reading wrap-ups for both of the months because, like I said, May was a really short reading month, so I didn't read a whole bunch. In the month of May, I read only 3 books, and then in the month of June, I've read 4 books. I read 5 books. Wait. Oh my gosh, I read 5 books in June. That's really big for me. That's really, really big for me because I have been a giant reading slump. If you couldn't tell by May, I was in a giant reading slump. So me reading 5 books is a lot. That's a huge accomplishment for me. The first book that I read in May was Please Don't Go by E. Salvador. This was indie when I read it. I read it on my Kindle. And I rated this book 3 stars. I feel like it could have been great. It definitely started out awesome, amazing. I was really intrigued, but then I felt as though we were kind of drifting and the story was just no longer intriguing. I felt like we were running in circles and it was really long, and I feel like it was long for no exact reason. So therefore I rated it 3 stars. It was good for the first half. In my opinion, I know a lot of people love that book, but it just wasn't for me after the second half. The next book is Crown Tide by Alex Astor. This was a huge surprise. This book was 4 stars, and I have an entire reading vlog on it, so go watch the reading vlog. But for reading the first 3 books, the first book was great, and the second books, the second and third, awful, and then Graham and Oro, awful. But you guys know I hate DNFing series, especially when I'm doing reading vlogs on them, so I was like, we're just gonna persevere. Okay, we're just gonna persevere because I did with Percy Jackson, but I feel like Percy Jackson only because I literally could not stand, I don't like Greek mythology anyways. I really just couldn't stand to read it. So that's a reason that I DNF'd a series. But DNFing Crown Tide, it was just I keep hoping that it's gonna get better, and it did get better, so therefore I gave this 4 stars. And then the third book that I read in May was Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter, and this book was 3 stars. Okay, I definitely feel like the beginning, it was very promising, but near the end I was just really annoyed. I was just like, we don't need this. Okay, not annoyed, okay, because you guys know I love me some Lynn Painter, and I wasn't annoyed, but I was more like, why this path? Why are we taking this path, and then why is it dragging on? I feel like this was another book where we were running in circles for no reason at all. I really just felt like we were just doing things to be doing things. We had side quest activities and everything. I was kind of confused because it was and really, if you're thinking about reading Nothing Like the Movies, you can not, if you don't want to, okay? Because the way that Better Than the Movies ended, we could have just had just that book by itself and had to be perfect, but we had the spinoff as well, so it was okay. But I do think that I would just recommend just reading the first book, and the second book is just really if you absolutely are yearning for the second book. But I feel like the first book was all that we needed, and the first book was amazing. So 3 books that I read in May. Once again, I read Please Don't Go on my Kindle, so I don't have it. I don't plan on getting a physical copy. Now for June, we read 5 books. I don't know why I only have 3 of them marked. Okay, this is what my reading journal looks like. I decorate them. So as you can see, I have the ratings for 1. Summer in the City I don't have a rating for, and I don't have the number by it, but I have the number that I read them in, so that way when I do these wrap-ups I can have them in order. First book that I read in June was Monsters We Make, which is the 2nd volume. This is by Corey Kenshin. I said this in another video. I don't know why nobody talks about this. Not even his own fan base does, which I find is really odd because it's actually a really good manga, and I want to get back into manga. I was reading My Hero Academia. I was reading Spy X Family, and then Demon Slayer, and I just never really went back to those after the first volume. So I feel like this is the first time I've ever went past the first volume in a manga, which I need to just pick up all the mangas where I left off because I've watched all the animes. I just never finished the manga series. Maybe because with the mangas I watched them before I read them, which is a rare case for me, trust me. It's usually just because I want to see if I actually like the anime before going into the manga, but I digress. Also, can we just talk about how in manga it's always book accurate? Whenever I'm reading a manga, it literally feels like I'm just reading the script for the anime, which why can't we with normal novels, not normal novels, but like no picture novels, do the exact same thing. Like, why does everything have to be changed? Don't you guys have the copyright for it to be the same? Whatever. That's a later discussion for another day. But this was good. I rated this one 4 stars. I liked the dynamics. I liked the situation that we were put in. I liked the training aspect, and then I also enjoyed the villain that we had, because it was kind of like, oh, we're all trying to meet this ultimate goal, and then it also kind of shows how our pride can kind of like set us back. It can be a major setback if we think we can do something where everybody's like, no, please don't do this, because that could like really risk everything that we've got going here. When you read it, you'll understand. But I do think that it was a nice story, and I would recommend reading this. Number 2 was Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. This book was 5 stars. This book was phenomenal. The story itself, I'm just so glad that Suzanne Collins got her movie deal. Everything that she got, I'm just so glad that she got it, okay? Let me just tell you guys, if you guys have just finished The Hunger Games, please just immediately just jump into Catching Fire, because I read The Hunger Games last July, and then I read Catching Fire in June, obviously, of this year, and I really wish that I had just went straight into Catching Fire. The reason I didn't was because this series genuinely intimidates me. Everybody loves the series, like, to the bone, and I did not want to go in the series and force myself to read it and then not enjoy it. Girl, I should just force myself to read it, because this would have gotten me out of a slump. I don't even think I was in a slump last year. I think I'm in a slump this year, but this definitely sped up the pace for this month, and I was just like, okay, I'm on fire and I want to read more, okay? It was good, okay? It was good. The third book of June was People We Met on Vacation by Emily Henry. This was one of the book club picks. This was the first book club pick of the month. I read this one a little late, but I still got to it in the month of June. I think that's just all that matters. 3 stars. Okay. I enjoyed it to an extent, and I actually have a whole video on my rating process. On why like I rate certain things a certain way. Literally, I think it's the last video I posted, I think. No, well, by the time you guys see this, there'll be more videos up, because I have a lot of stuff filmed that needs to be edited. But the last thing that I posted before like filming this was the rating, like how I rank my books. People Meet on Vacation was good. It was enjoyable, and I wish for the movie they had kept some things the same, because there were some things in the book that didn't make it over to the movie, and I was just like, okay, why are we changing this detail? Like, really, can we just keep it the same? You guys literally have the copyrights. Do what the book says. And people are like, well, it's not adaptable. It's literally a contemporary romance about traveling. I can see a fantasy, something's having to be changed because it's not adaptable, but a romance with real locations, with very much doable things, I do think that is adaptable, and I wish they had just kept it how it was. Life would have been a lot easier for everybody involved, okay? But this was good. It wasn't bad. It's very much an in the middle read, and that's kind of where both of the Emily Henry books stand. I've read Funny Story, and both of those have gotten 3 stars, so I just don't know if Emily Henry is the author for me when it comes to, like, if I need to get out of the slump, okay? What is this, 4th book? The 4th book was Love in Other Words. Get this book away from me, actually. DNF, and you guys know when I DNF books, I don't just leave it 1 star. It's a 1-star book if I were to give it a rating, but I DNF'd it. I just didn't like the way that some of the conversations between the 2 main characters when they were teenagers were, because it's, first of all, it's not realistic, and I feel like also it should not be written about. Okay. Also, I'm really disappointed in Book Talk, because I thought this was a YA book, which apparently it's not. It's apparently adult. Please don't fool me like that ever again. Don't make me look stupid ever again. It was not kind. It was not nice. But I didn't enjoy it, and apparently a lot of people didn't either. I didn't even finish the book, and apparently it just gets worse. Like, things happen to the characters, and it's just excused and brushed under the rug. I'm just glad I didn't finish it, okay? The last book that we read was Summer in the City by Alex Astor. Like I said, there's no rating in here for the book, but I literally finished it I was doing a how many pages can I read, like based on the wheel, but life got busy, so the finish was deleted because I was just like, okay, well, we're going to do it again next week, right? So I literally finished it trying to do the vlog, but I did finish it sometime, I think it was like the last week of June. This, I do think I rated this like 4 stars though. This was really fun. I think that this genre right here is Alex's genre. Like, she should stick to romance. Okay? This, I would want to see another book with the other characters that came into this story. This was fun. This was extravagant. Okay? I liked how we got to travel. I like how we got to explore things even in our own home place. And then I like to see the internal conflicts that the characters carried throughout the story, even if we didn't get a point of view from the male main character. I loved how we could tell, not with telling, but with showing how he felt. We could tell how he was feeling. We could tell his emotions, and we could tell when he was hurt, when he was happy, when he was sad, when he was indifferent. Like, you can realize that. And I like how she had it where we could see both characters and how they felt in the situation without having to give us a second point of view. Because think about it, when you're watching a movie, there's usually one main character and that main character's love interest. There's never, well, I'm not gonna say never, but usually there's not 2 main characters who are love interests. It's usually not going to go that way. There is always going to be a main character and their love interest, and we can still tell how the love interest is feeling in the movie or in a show. And I think that she portrayed this perfectly. Okay, and then having our FMCB a screenwriter was just a cherry on top. Okay, but with that being said, this is the end of this wrap up. I really just feel like I should just did the May wrap up, even though there was 3 books. I feel like our lives would have been a lot easier, but I digress. Have a nice, wonderful day. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit notifications so you guys never ever miss a video. I love you guys so much, but Jesus will do more, and I'll see you guys next time. But out, goodbye, bye out, and kisses.